So, I know that it seems like the news is something that might be passe at this point and something that really doesn't need to pop anymore. But I do occasionally post up news videos, and this is one of those news videos because, according to reports, after the attack on Bianca Belair from Damage Control a couple of weeks ago, Bianca Belair could miss between a couple of weeks and a few months of television as WWE is giving her much deserved time off as Bianca has had praise heaped upon her for her title reign and how she led the division over the course of about a year and a half, pretty much, being the leader of the division. And, deservedly so. She did a wonderful job leading the division. I do think, to a degree, she stayed in the title picture a little bit too long. But at the same time, I think it was a good title reign and a welcome change from how WWE usually operated the women's division. But I would also say that WWE needs to understand that there are now other people within that division capable of taking that Bianca Belair opportunity. If you give them that type of opportunity, they will take that opportunity and run with it. And the fact of the matter is, you might say, oh, well, who's that comes to mind? Who is it that it comes to mind? Honestly, Dakota Kai, Io Scott, Damage Control. Damage Control comes to mind. Number one. Number two, anybody could come to. I know this sounds like a cop out, but anybody could come to mind, because the fact of the matter is, you don't know who could strike out, who could step up. I mean, if you never give them the opportunity to step up, you just don't know. Like, there's no way to know who's going to step up if you don't give anybody the opportunity to step up. So I think that's something that WWE needs to keep in mind, especially with the fact that Charlotte and Becky and, Ronda Rousey and others may be looking for other ways to entertain themselves outside of WWE. That they may be looking for other ways to entertain themselves outside of WWE, so WWE would need to figure something out as far as an alternative. They would need to figure out an alternative, and the alternative is finding somebody else. But now we shift over to AEW because it's been a couple of weeks, and AEW needs to keep us entertained with random nonsense that in other places may not be reaching may not reach in other places may not reach the public eye, but in AEW most certainly does. So as far as the incident with Jungle Boy and Punk and the initial glass incident, I don't know a lot about that incident, and I'm not going to act like I do, but it's a delicate situation, and I think safety was the issue, as that is, in my opinion, the only logical explanation, because if Punk is willing to work with the Bucks and Kenny, he would not let the friendship that somebody like Jungle Boy has with the Bucks and Kenny interfere with something that would benefit AEW. Especially something that does not directly impact him, like what Jungle Boy is doing in a particular matchup, unless Punk was going to have the same idea and do something similar. Which I can completely understand then, because big spots like, something with a car or something like this should be reserved for the main event to get the most impact. But from what we've heard, as far as Punk's traveling situation through England, where AEW did not send a car, AEW did not help him get to the did not set a AEW did not help him get to the hotel. Punk basically had to make his own way to the hotel and help himself there with the help of with the help of the locals, which is crazy to me that your employer, who's supposed to help you with travel, was not there helping Punk with travel like they should. You know what I mean? So I do blame AEW for that. But if, again, Punk did not handle the situation like he should have as the veteran, you know, it kind of points to the possibility of genuinely Punk being fed up with AEW and just wanting to find a way out of the company instead of keeping his word. But when his escalation negatively affects pre-existing relationships that you would have thought were fine, aka himself and Samoa Joe, it shows how things have changed. It does in fact show how things have changed, and you kind of wish that Punk. I mean, I honestly don't know what to say. I don't know if you wish that Punk would handle things differently. I don't know if you blame it on AEW. I don't know if it's equal parties. And to be fair, I don't think any of us will know what the actual issue is. Um, According to Brian Alvarez, the glass spot intended included something with a windshield and a car. And Jungle Boy believes that the reason why Punk went after him is because of his relationship with the Young Bucks. But as I mentioned, if Punk is willing to work with the Bucks, why would he screw that up why would he let Jungle Boy's relationship with the Young Bucks negatively impact what could be a very profitable working relationship for CM Punk? And as far as All Out is concerned, CM Punk and the Young Bucks CM Punk and Jungle Boy are both off the AEW. Punk and Jungle Boy are both not going to be featured on the All Out show upcoming this weekend because they're suspended. They are both suspended indefinitely. There are rumors going around that Punk wants to be done with AEW. And is completely done with the company. Honestly, I would not be surprised. And honestly, I would understand it. But I do hope that at some point, I do hope that it, how do I put it? That it leads to a positive outcome, the likes of which you would see from adults, not the likes of which you would see from children. According to Mike Johnson at PW Insider, Punk did in fact take a tube on Monday in the UK to All Out, and also apparently Punk was fined due to his comments about Hangman Page. And also apparently Punk got in an altercation with Miro following his match with Samoa Joe. And apparently that is actually the case, but it was more bantering back and forth. There was no physical altercation. And there is undoubtedly an an investigation going on about this situation, and CM Punk has not been released. CM Punk, as of right now, is still under contract with AEW and is still within the ranks of AEW. According to Brian Alvarez, there was a number of people that noted how difficult it was to get an Uber or to get some sort of car service from the airport over the weekend. I'm assuming because of the amount of people that were going to the event and in town for said event. That would in a way affect what's going on. But the fact of the matter is, it seems like it was the escalation, especially if Punk was fined for his comments about Hangman Page, that it seems like it was an escalation of many little things that led to Jungle Boy and Punk having an altercation. It wasn't just, as you hear from the Wrestling Observer, that Jungle Boy's side is that it was that it was Jungle Boy's relationship with the Bucks that caused the altercation. No, I think it was a mishmash of a lot of things, and Jungle Boy just caught the ire of Punk. Because of Jungle Boy starting the situation, Punk did not start it. Punk escalated it, but Punk did not start it. Jungle Boy's comments on his way out for his matchup against Hook on the pre-show started it. Punk escalated it and got to business, as they would say. But either way, I will let you guys know more as we know more about the situation. And honestly, I don't know what to expect at this point with Punk and AEW. Would it be better off if Punk left? Probably. Does Punk benefit AEW? Yes. Would I love to see Punk go out on his terms and not have, bullshit negatively affected? Yes, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. With that being said, though, that is it for me, and I will see you in the next video.